Hello, everyone. Hello to our people coming in. Hi, Tracy. Today we have a spectacular woman here with us that has been part of the Wentors community for a while. We have Carolyne Milgo, right? Although I just learned to pronounce the surname now, I was quite confused. But Carolyne will be taking us on how to stay relevant in the tech sector, right? She has 15 years of experience in technology, which includes development, technical project management, product management, leading large-scale engineering initiatives across diverse industries. While now she's currently in Microsoft, she has driven end-to-end deliveries of products from ideation to strategy to implementation and launch, right? She's deeply passionate about mentoring and empowering women to grow professionally. So please, everyone, as we can see here, let's just give a big welcome to Carolyne. Hi, Carolyne. Welcome, and over to you.
Thank
I
you
know this.
so much.
So sorry. I know this is a 30 minutes AMA session, so we don't have much time with Carolyne, everybody. We have to milk her for all your questions, drop it. I know we already have some questions from the community, but all your questions, please drop it because we only have 30 minutes with her. So Carolyne, over to you.
Thank you so much. So excited for this session today. And I'm going to share my screen quickly. So I'll try to really run through so that we get the most time to just focus on the questions. All right. So today, everyone can see my screen, first of all. Okay, good. All right. So when Wentors reached out and asked me for a topic, I felt like this was a really relevant area for most of us, women in tech, because tech is evolving every single day. So today we're going to talk about learning to learn. How do you stay relevant in the tech space? So again, just as you're in the tech space, you know, we have tools, frameworks coming out every single day. Today you think you're relevant, tomorrow it's outdated, okay? So really today we want to walk through, just give you nuggets on your ability to learn and just adapt and how to just build your own personal plans and just make sure you stay relevant, both in your current roles and even if you're thinking of transitioning to other roles, okay? All right, so why isn't my slide moving? Good. So first things first, you don't just wake up one day and start learning things, yeah? It has to be first something that is relevant, okay? So how do you spot them? So for me, what has personally worked for me is really LinkedIn is a great place, yes, but again, you have to filter out noise in different platforms, right? What is a trusted source for you? Because you want to make sure you're focusing on what is important for you. So for me in cybersec, I'll follow like people, industry leaders who talk about cybersec and emerging trends, right? So you have to figure out where is this information coming from? Find patterns. Of course, these are credible sources. Look at customers who have implemented this and they're saying success stories and stuff like that. And again, of course, for any person in who's in a career, you have to align with your goals, right? Think about this. New skill, will it be helping me to do my job better? How is my impact going to be influenced by this? Is it moving me to my next career milestone and things like that, okay? So next slide. I don't know why Zoom is a bit slower, but yeah. So when you're choosing your skills, of course, you're thinking about skills that will build your strengths. You already have a skill set, but what is it that will amplify what you're already good at? So if you think of me like in cybersec, right now, the current trend is to move towards AI and driving ML in just detecting threats and stuff like that. So I'm thinking of course, in this case, good example, AI, and how can I use it, right? Then, of course, you're looking at also skills that can open new opportunities for you. So you already have a skill set, you already have responsibilities, but what is it that can position you for something greater within your role, right? And then also you want to look for a skill that solves a real world problem. I mean, if it's not at the end of the day, from a product mindset, if it doesn't solve a real world problem, then it's really not going to sustain you at the end of the day. So quickly, continuous upskilling. This is non-negotiable, right? You have learning is continuous every day, and as opposed to just blocking like a week to just cram everything and just make sure you're up to date. So for me, I'd advise you to focus on micro learning. Just do 15, 30 minutes a day, learn something new, listen to a podcast, follow a tutorial, and sort of those small bits of learning incrementally lead up to like serious learning, right? Instead of just packing your learning at the end of the the end of the year in December, and you think, oh, it's time to pick up a new skill. So do micro learning. It also helps to make sure you stay afloat. It doesn't stress you out because anyway, it's not like serious learning. And then, of course, look out for professional communities like this platform here. Great to just network with others, learn from others in the industry, attend meetups if they are virtual or whether it's physical, try and attend them. There's a lot of Slack, Discord groups moving around all over. Find what is relevant for you and join the forum that makes sense for you. And of course, you can also take up side projects. I mean, if you have a friend or whoever it is, a family member who has a company and you want to apply these skills in real world, you can reach out to them and see if you can get an opportunity to apply your new learning as you take a side project. Of course, this also has to go into your CV. So at least there's evidence that you made use of this skill at some point, okay? Okay, so again, just like any other,
What does reading a lot of book to do?
sorry. Just like any
Counselors
other,
already.
it's okay. Okay, so just like any other thing that you set your mind to, you have to have a plan, of course, at the end of the day. I know this is very cliche and you keep hearing it, but really, the plan is really important. What are your goals? Set your clear goals. For me, yes, saying like, I've put here an example. In the next 6 months, I learn X and apply it in Y project. This is very generic, but I've seen cases where people go and look at some LinkedIn profile. Maybe it's in this case, I'll be biased towards cybersec, or a product manager role. And they look for someone and review their skill set and sort of work towards acquiring the skills that they have. So any certifications, whatever it is that is relevant, they want to build their profile to sort of mirror this person that they know has really excelled in this area. So set those clear goals and be honest to yourself, of course. Learning is a journey. Don't stress yourself out. Just put clear goals and remember, let's do this incrementally. Okay. This break it down again, mirrors to the clear goals, small, consistent learning bits, occasional deep dives. All right. And then of course, you can also plan to pair with people in the industry, plan to just see what they as you pair, they're able to transfer knowledge to you that you can also use in your role, even as you grow. And of course, keep just reviewing and adjusting. Your plan should always be just, you have to know the pulse of the industry, what is changing, because also it's really moving fast right now as compared to like maybe the early 2000s and the 2010s and so on and so forth. Right now, it's really moving fast. So review and adjust because, hey, you have to just be really adapt to changing situations and environments and systems really fast. So yes, so that's a bit of a summary. I hope it made sense. But yeah, I think I'll turn it over to you and then we can take in the questions. I know they are pre-written questions. I don't know, you'll guide me with your guidance. I think we can start addressing those ones.
Of course. And before we begin with the questions, I know you said something about, setting the plan. And I think that's something that cuts across all boards, both professionally, personally. We tend to overlook setting intentions, setting a plan, going deep into saying, okay, in the next couple of months, this is what I want to achieve. In the last couple of months, this is what I want to achieve and stick with it. But that's basically, from what I'm heard you said, is the key recipe to making your career stay afloat and come alive, right? All right. Thank you so much, Caroline. That was really, really insightful. Okay, to everybody here, if you have questions specifically in your field, right? Because like I said, Caroline has 15 years of experience that cuts across the board. Please put it in the chat box. However, there have been some questions that came from the community. If you're on the Telegram, you should know that came from the community that we've sent in prior. So I'm just going to walk Caroline through that. And again, if your questions stem from these questions that we have previously asked, please put that in the chat box. So we'll start from the pre-sent questions and then we'll get to you. All right. So I think one of the questions were, as a security customer engineer, what are some emerging trends in cybersecurity that mid-level women in tech or graduates should be paying attention to right now?
Good. That's a good question. I touched on this a bit, but I want to expound on that. Right now, cybersec is really like we have people who wake up in the morning and their work is just to hack other people. We have companies that just people show up at 8 and leave at 5 because it's just figuring out where are these loopholes, right? So in light of that, and because you can't take control of that, the world is just the world as it is. What is really becoming more and more important in cybersec right now is the use of AI and ML. You want to think of predictive methods that I can tell someone is trying to break into my organization. You have to think of areas around threat detection and how to set your organization or whatever it is, your company, up for success to make sure you're not caught, right? So there's a lot of development going into threat detection and predictive analysis and relying on ML models to surface these touch points. So of course, there's the SOC, security operations analysts. That's a role that is becoming very increasingly useful, I'd say, for most organizations where security is something that they are thinking about daily. So you'll see emerging roles in ML ops, SEC ops and SOC analysis and stuff like that. So what is really helping us right now, because the data is vast and there's no way you can sit down and just go through each threat one by one, you have to use AI and ML. So for me, I'd say that is the one thing that right now is catching up with us and we are actively using it. The other thing that I want to point out is within organizations, as we build applications, within cybersec, it's also important to just start healthy, build healthy, and ship healthy applications. So build with security in mind. Think of zero trust. Think of using identities to just safeguard applications. So from the base up, as developers build, let's think about application health and security so that as we ship, we're able to stay healthy. Okay, so I hope that answers.
Right. Second question is, when a new technology comes out, it wasn't a while ago when AI came out and bombarded everybody, right? So when a new technology comes out, how do you decide if it's a good investment of your time to learn it?
Okay, so we've already seen that technology is really, really moving really fast. And you can't learn everything, let's be honest. We don't have the time. And also, it's just sometimes not relevant to you. So even as it is moving, I think for me, what is really important as I think of whether to take up this skill, I think about where I am currently. What am I doing in my role? How can I increase efficiencies? How can I make sure I reduce time doing X and Y? And sort of just be able to free up time for other things that can help me sort of reinvent whatever I'm doing and make it better. So look out for things that are going to be a plus to your current role and things that are able to expand your role. Like for me, even within the skills that I already have, I'm also thinking about other skills that can help me, like think of support, for example, other skills that I can be able to build to make sure I'm able to support customers in a consistent manner and make sure they're able to build within the Microsoft platform easily. So I think I'll give a good example where I was able to Okay, I didn't have a data background, but I had to level up on data because I was getting a lot of information from customers, and really there was no way the product and engineering teams could make sense out of that. So I had to build a tool using AI again to sort of just sift through those questions and surface the important pain points that sort of could be prioritized by engineering. So I was able to sift through the data without a data background, but quickly level up and just be able to use visualization tools and just surface that, because as product engineering, they don't want to go and start looking at support tickets and stuff like that. What they want is really, what is the data saying? And it's a summary. We don't have time. Just summarize for us what we need to do and back it with data. So that's a good example. I had to build my data muscle at the shortest time possible to be able to deliver value to product engineering teams that I collaborate with. So it has to be relevant to your role, and think of it as something that is expanding your current role. What other things can I pick up? And also the collaborating teams you're collaborating with, think about what is useful to them and how you can deliver value.
Thank you so much. Again, to the people here, if you have questions, please feel to drop it on the chat box. I will get to you as soon as possible. Caroline, what skill would you say, or what skill you thought was going to be a quote unquote game changer, but ended up being less relevant than you expected? Remember that we just talked about, when it's good time to learn a new technology, but now what did you think was going to be a game changer? I know for me, I think that was Web3. But yeah, let's hear from you. What did you think was going to be a game changer, but ended up being, less than relevant than you expected?
Sure thing. That's a good one. I think for me, it was what was it? It was when GitHub Copilot came. Previously, we had to really figure out so many things, and you had to cram a lot of commands and things like that. So I think for me, it was pre-learning these skills where you had to cram a lot. And I think we're all culprits in this, because we try to cram stuff and just make sure you understand the flow and all that. But then GitHub Copilot comes and it shifts everything. You're able to, it's just like, it's Copilot, right? I'm able to just run stuff and do things without the need to remember. So I think being able to, as sitting in tech, knowing that things are going to change really fast, commands are changing, the way you're running on different platforms. I mean, you'll have a command for PowerShell, you'll have one for Cloud Shell, there's a Cloud Shell, you'll have Windows PowerShell. It's so many different things, and you don't have to cram all of that, but make use of existing tools to sort of just bring those commands to light. Yeah. So I think for me, it's really just those storage of commands and packing them at the back of your head, making sure you can speak them out. I mean, that's good, but at the end of the day, I think there are tools that you can utilize to just make sure you're able to deliver your work, and it serves the same purpose. You don't have to cram stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Just a minute. How do you envision your career evolving over the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay, good one. So for me, this is very personal for me, because I feel like, okay, I've worked for a while, but for me, it's really I'm looking more into technical depth. And when I say that, it's really being a subject matter expert in the areas that I've been assigned. And right now I'm more into, yes, I'm into security, but more into moving slowly towards data protection. So it's for me, it's getting that depth, number one, technically, being a technical, like I can speak comfortably about these topics and things like that, but also looking towards technical leadership. Technical leadership in terms of, am I taking up projects that have broader scale? Am I getting opportunities to lead bigger teams? So really it's the projects, the scale of the projects, the teams that I'm handling, and of course, just being able to collaborate even more with other teams that are probably doing the same thing, but also my goal is definitely technical leadership at a global level. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great goal. And this question is for me because I've always wondered, right? I used to see day in a life videos of people that work in Microsoft, and I've always wondered. So, what's a common misconception about working at a large company like Microsoft, especially for someone early in their career? What's a common misconception about
Yes. Oh, this one, okay, this one is a good one.
that?
So you'd really find, just because when people see you as working, when you think of working in a company like this, mostly you would think you would get lost in terms of just being recognized. It's easy, it feels like it's easy to get lost in, like everyone is really smart. And sometimes, of course, imposter syndrome kicks off one time, sometimes, but really you feel like you're in this community of really super, super intelligent people. And I have to admit, people are really sharp here. And then you feel, there's a tendency to feel that you're probably not enough and you have to do more, right? But really what I've come to learn is you have to understand what is your role and what is exceptional in your role. How do you think about yes, there's something you're doing, but then how did you improve this process? So while it's easy to get lost and think that others are doing just really smart people and you're struggling, what I've also seen is there's a lot of opportunities. And one day you're in security, the other day you want to do data engineering, the other day you want to move to something in front facing, dealing with customers. There's just there's a HR who even transitioned at, I think she was 60 to software engineering, just because there were opportunities and she had people who could work with them and within the company, and she could be able to grow and transition even at 60 into this very, very technical role. So yes, it's easy to feel there's just so many people around me and my voice is not heard. I'm not seeing my impact is not seen. But again, there's lots of opportunities that you're presented with. And again, the scale of the opportunities. I mean, if I work on one feature, it's not a feature that's only going to touch on maybe a country like Kenya, but it's going to touch, it's a global feature. So you can imagine the amount of users who are going to be using this. So that scale also, while you work on a small feature, the scale is really expansive. And yeah, I think for me, it's just the experience, the people you work with. But then again, yeah, I admit it's easy to feel like you're not seen. But at the end of the day, you have to bring out that impact. Sometimes you have to make noise, speak up in meetings, publish stuff, contribute to different things, so that just your name is out there, because we are just so many and everybody is just super skilled and we're all fighting to just stay relevant. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say that.
All right, so we have a couple of minutes to go. I see that Stella put in the comment section. She said, I'm quite relieved to hear that I've had issues cramming commands. So again, I always tell everybody that you're not alone, especially as a woman in tech. Whatever you're feeling now, many women have felt before you, and many women will feel after. It's just that's why we have communities like Wentors, to have a place where you can air your voice and say, oh, so I'm not alone in this, right? That's why we have these meetups. That's why we have these sessions. Now we have just 2 questions to go from my end. And one is, beyond technical skill, what is the single most important soft skill like a student needs to cultivate to stay relevant in tech, right? So for an early beginner, a student, or somebody that's just trying to transition and solidify their spot, what is one single most important soft skill you say they should have?
Good one. So soft skills, and this is big because people in tech, we have been labeled as not being introverts, not being able to express ourselves and stuff like that. So for me, I would go with communication, because wherever you go, whatever you do, communication is like the baseline. You're going to have to speak to stakeholders, different audiences like marketing folks. You have to speak to leadership. You have to speak even to support staff and stuff like that. You have to figure out how to handle and address the needs of all these audiences. And it boils down to communication. So for me, I would go with communication. And also, even as you communicate the work that you do, as you communicate your impact, it boils down to communication. As a technical person, how am I able to relay information to even non-technical people? How am I going to speak of the things that I've built? How am I going to speak to my customers, my users? Basically, it's communication at the end of the day. And I think this is a skill that is continuously, there's no one day you'll get and you'll say, now I'm really good on communication as a soft skill. You grow it every day. You take lessons, you listen to podcasts on how to handle different scenarios for communication, how to handle audiences, and really build that muscle. So it's never ending. I'm also still learning how to communicate, and also using learnings from previous, like when I feel like this time round, I've probably just, what's the word? I don't want to use Swahili. Like I've really, what's the word? Chomad. Chomad means like I've burnt, yeah? I'm doing like, whoa, that didn't go well, right? I'm talking to a customer. I'm not sensitive to their tone, whatever. Even if it's just the email that you're writing, I'm not being sensitive to what they're saying, and I can't read in between the lines. At the end of the day, I'm going to respond back to them, and it's going to be really bad, and I will not have captured the things that I need to capture, and that soils our relationship. So for anyone, communication is a really important soft skill, and it's continuous. You keep learning, and every day you get better as you deal with different audiences.
All right, thank you. So our last but not the least question from this end is, in your experience, what is more valuable, being an expert in one specific niche or having a broad understanding of multiple technologies?
Good one. So, in my experience, and being biased in product and security, what I've found is you first have to know what is my role and what am I delivering. Having known that, you're able to pick up at a skill that you can go deep, right? Get the depth of that skill and make sure you're really, really good at it. Then there are these others. Of course, when I say that when you really need to be good at something, this is a non-negotiable skill for you to be successful in your role. So there's no choice. You have to be really good at that. So get the depth in that, get like really deep into that, and make sure you're able to just speak. It's going to obviously help you execute. In terms of breadth, think about the skills that are outside the non-negotiables, like things that you need to get by, things that you don't support frequently, things that you really can't do your job without, and just get the breadth for those ones, because once in a while you'll be thrown something that you need to execute and it's going to need that skill. So for those ones, I'd advise just get some breadth into that as opposed to going deep. Go deep for the ones that are immediate for your role and are counted towards like impact, that are useful rather towards impact in your current role. And then for breadth, look at the things that are outside what you do. Okay.
You. So last question from Nima. Nima says, how will AI literacy or how AI literacy will impact tech roles? So I think Nima is basically asking is how will AI literacy impact tech roles?
Yes, good one. So AI is here with us. There's no going back. If anything, we are just getting better. And so we have to brace ourselves. I know there are rumors and everyone flying around saying, oh, it's going to take our roles. But what is going to set you apart from others is you actually being able to use that AI for your role. So think of it this way. As someone who's probably, say, for example, you're a product manager, and you want to understand what your users are saying, right? You're collecting feedback, and you can't go sift through that feedback. You have to figure out a way to quickly build an RCA, a root cause analysis using AI generate the pain points, and then now ship that to product engineering. So I think for me, what really sets you apart from the rest is you being able to know what AI tools are available, what tools you can plug into, upskill on them, and using those, be a better product manager, be a better software developer, be a better anything like security engineer and all. So you have to be very conscious of what is happening, maybe in product. If you are a UI person, there are AI tools to just build UIs and stuff like that. Plug into those, learn those things, and use it to enhance your role. So what will set us apart is people who are able to, they know their role, they know their stuff, but again, they're able to use AI to enhance it. It could even be as simple as just reporting, right? Being able to build reports using data, and you can do that with AI. Build reports and ship reports and review those reports and get the feedback coming in. So it's really, at the end of the day, are you conversant with the tools that are relevant for your role, and how are you using them? And of course, just being aware of the changes in the industry as they come in. Like there's a new product tool coming in and it helps you to do these A and B tests. I mean, why would you want to go and do this on an all outdated tool? And we have AI that is available for you to do that. For visualization and data and stuff like that, can you plug in data and just let it churn visuals and things like that, and charts that you could easily ship in an X amount of time? So think of it as an aid to your role and the things that you're doing every day.
All right. Thank you so much, Caroline. This is very, very impactful. I think our time is up. We're over by 2 minutes. But everybody, if you've enjoyed the session, Nima says thank you. If you've enjoyed the session, please, like we do, let's celebrate Caroline by putting up beautiful emojis on our screen. You could also follow her up on LinkedIn, which I have posted here. Please follow Caroline, engage with her posts, learn more from her as well as she grows in her journey. But thank you so much, Caroline, for coming in, for being a mentor with us, and for always being open to impacting women in the tech ecosystem, whether it's with Wentors or whatever you do so far. Thank you so much, Caroline. And Stella is giving you heart eyes. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. I hope we all enjoyed the session. Yes, it's recorded, but I don't know if I'm going to share it with you guys. This is golden nuggets that she dropped here. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Have a great weekend ahead. I look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye,
Bye,
girls.
everyone. Bye.